Hey everyone, my name is Top Hornet and welcome back to Minecraft. This is episode 6 of my Minecraft Let's Play. As you can see, I've done a little bit of work with the new blackstone that we've got from the nether to sort of improve the look of this room a little. Now, that wall there is still very much unfinished because I'm going to put a super smelter over there. And I'll probably make like a chimney or something that pops up through there and out the top of the island. So that's for a later date, we'll leave that as it is. But as you can see, I've done my best to stagger some different textures through the wall and created a little bedroom so that I wasn't sleeping on my bed just there, and sort of tie everything together a little bit better. I've left these sections here that could eventually be used to go into different rooms for different purposes, sort of unsure, and I've moved our little list of things that we want to do over to this area. Another thing you may have noticed is that I have 36 levels sitting there ready to go, and I spent a little time mining up some quartz in the nether and trying to get those levels up, and my diamond pickaxe is definitely running out of durability. So the main goal of today's episode is to go get ourselves some villagers. What is it with mobs and boats over here? Okay, with that zombie out of the way, as I was saying, we want to go over to the villages that I found over in that direction and bring a couple back in some boats so that we can set up our villager breeder and start to get a decent supply of them on this island. That way we can use them for an iron farm, we can use them for a villager trading hall, and all of those sorts of things. And one of the first things that I really want to do is get myself a mending librarian that I can apply a mending to this fortune pickaxe, and that way we don't lose it. But one of the first things I want to do before I go to do that is use these levels and see if we can get a couple of decent enchantments on our diamond gear and maybe some other tools, and roll the dice on those. So give me a moment and we'll see what we get. So, as luck would have it, we actually got ourselves a brand new fortune pickaxe, and I figured I would like some silk touch, but it might be a little while before I get myself one, and that's going to make sure that we don't have to bank on getting ourselves a mending villager just to make sure that this is okay. So we have that backup. It's another good efficient pickaxe as well. We got a decent just standard protection on the diamond leggings, and I was hoping when I saw that Depth Strider 3 that I'd get a little bit more than the single enchantment, but it is what it is. We'll try again later once we get back up to higher levels. So I'm just going to chuck these spare tools away, and we'll put that one in there straight away. Keep it safe. And I'm going to organize myself some boats. I'm going to get myself prepared, make sure I'm ready to go, and we're going to go out and get some villagers. Now, this will actually be the first time since the first episode that I've been out this direction. And because of the way the first episode worked, me losing all that footage and having to record everything through the replay mod, this is actually going to be a good chance to show off what I found. Now, that's if I can find it. Did I get my sense of direction wrong? This is weird. I honestly thought that it was out this direction, but I don't remember this desert being here at all. Where in the heck are these villages? I don't remember this here. It's been actually quite a long time since I went out and filmed that first episode. So I'm completely lost. Okay, there we go. I believe, I must have just missed it by a little bit. I think the first village that I found was this Savannah Village. So at least I know from here I should be able to make my way and find the other ones. But if these guys are easy to access and get out of here, then I definitely will. Yeah, I think I can probably grab him actually. Haha, perfect. villager number 1. I actually did make a mistake in the direction that I headed out. I obviously came off from my original little base there and headed out this direction. And just then I went off that way. And I don't think I've even been that direction before. So unfortunately... Oh, actually he can probably stay there. They can't touch each other, so it should be safe enough. I'll make up another boat and head back that direction instead of that direction. And see if we can grab a couple more. I feel like the more that we can grab straight off the bat without really having to, you know, breed them up, if we can have more than 2 or 3 to start off with, it'll make things go a lot faster. Now, since this is the 3rd villager, I want to make sure there's no chance of us accidentally spawning iron golems in here. So, once I hop out of here, unfortunately we're going to lose another mascot. Don't look. But as you can see, that's 3. I'm going to go back. There was a couple more sitting in a good position. I can probably get 5 or 6 even. And if I can get 6, that means that I can use 3 of them to start a villager breeder, and the other 3 can get ourselves an iron farm started. I can get a half decent one going with just 3 villagers, and for a single player world and how often I'm going to spend around, like how much time I'm going to spend around here building and improving that, we'll probably get a decent supply off a very basic iron farm. So off to get some more. Okay, and with that, we have 6 villagers ready to go. So what I'll probably do is spend a little time, and I think I'm going to convert this area here into a little farm for a farmer villager and a little breeding area. And I think what I might do is actually dig out the underneath of this and do what I was originally planning by creating this glass wall down, looking out into the ocean, and having my whole trading hall underneath this circle here. Yeah, I think that could be pretty cool, and have some staircases going down, like spiraling down on the sides, or maybe down here. But I'll work on that once I've got some villagers to play with. So let's start working out how we're going to set this area up. One ugly carrot farm later, and we just need to get a villager in there. And maybe tidy up the front of this as well. So, unfortunately, I made a mistake. As you can see, we're a little bit further along now than when we last cut off. I accidentally recorded some footage without having any audio from my microphone. I'm still new to this, and it was bound to happen eventually. But as you can see, I have built up a very basic villager breeder. Now, it's not perfectly working. I'm hoping that when the sun goes down tonight, this guy sleeps and ends up in the middle of there as well. But we still do have one baby villager, and we have this guy up here in a basic farm area. He's supplying these 2 with the food, and with a bit of luck, they should drop most of their baby villagers down here, and we can pick them up from this corner since the water's pushing them against there. Now with that, as I was saying earlier about how I want to have the villager trading hall underneath this area, I believe if we grab one of the zombies we have over there, we should be able to set up a villager zombifying area. So with a bit of luck, I can work out a bit of a design to zombify a villager that I grab out of this corner, cure him, and then we can chuck them into the trading area underneath here. So again, as you can see, it's a little bit of a hodgepodge design. I'm sort of making it up as I go, but with a bit of luck, it should all tie together and become a really good system where I can zombify as many villagers as I like. And I think all I'll have to do is, since this will probably running near infinitely, is just create a little kill switch for this corner where if my population of villagers is getting a little bit high, I can just maybe push out a blade of lava or suffocate them somehow just to cull off those entities so that we don't get lag. So with that being said, I'm going to wait until nighttime, see whether or not this guy gets himself back into the center there. With a bit of luck, they will, and we should have a working villager breeder that will continually pour new villagers into this waiting station down here. Now these 3 that we have in here, I'm going to use to set up an iron farm. And while I'm waiting for this to run its course and get ourselves a decent little supply of villagers, I think I might go over here, once it gets dark, see whether I can grab one of these zombies and bring him over here safely. And then the other one could be used for the zombie in our iron farm that will scare the villagers. So I'll just grab myself a little bit of resources, and then quickly before the night comes here, I'm just going to get over there and have a bit of a look at what I can do as far as setting it up. Now, you can hear our 2 zombies that we have living in there, but I think I'd like to use this island as the base of our farm. So I'm going to get rid of this corner, and we'll bring the walkway across, and then I'm going to see what design I can find that works, that is very simple, that we can hopefully eventually build up a facade around to actually hide it and turn it into a building of sorts. But now that the sun's basically almost at the horizon, we'll probably see if we can transport one of these guys. Well, it looks like I'm going to have to do a little bit of troubleshooting as far as that goes. They just don't seem to want to sit in there, and I don't know whether it's something to do with 1.16.2, but I'll have a little bit more of a look at that and see what happens. I would like them to sit in the middle so that they drop the babies down into there, but as you can see, we do have this guy. One of the 2 that we had over there is now transported here. So that's a good start. At least he should stay there and not despawn. And we can spend a little bit of time working that out a little bit later. For now, I'm going to go back across there, and I think I might have a video off YouTube. If I find a good design, I'll make sure to link it and everything in the description. But we're going to set out the base of our iron farm over here. Okay, so I found a tutorial online for a very basic iron farm. Now, it doesn't look like it's going to be the most efficient, but as far as my ability to create a building around it and hide it, I think it'll work out quite well. So it's made by a YouTuber, a Minecraft YouTuber called Avomance, and I'll link their video in the description down below. But I figured since we're making it, I may as well do a quick tutorial of sorts, just a very basic, not going into super detail, because obviously if you do want to build it, you can go check out his video. But just the bare bones, as I build it myself, I'm going to walk you through what I need to do to make it work. So for starters, what I've done is I've found a central point. So we're going to create a 19 by 19 square, which will be our spawning area for the iron golems. Now I've come off diagonally from here, but that's not part of the tutorial, that's just what I've done for myself. And now I'm going to build out a flat platform, which is going to look ugly at first, but eventually we'll be able to fill it out and build up a building of sorts around it or something like that and really change it. Possibly even once we get enough resources, expand the island underneath it so that it looks far more natural sitting in the ocean. So I'm going to go out each direction 9 blocks from this center block. And then once I clear out this sand, and probably wait until that gets dark and move this guy actually, so he's out of my way, I'm going to fill in and make this an entire square. This will be our spawning platform where our water runs into this center point. Okay, so that's our spawning platform sorted. Now with that, we can go and create a 3 by 3 area in the middle. Eventually that's going to be our drop down point for the iron golems, and we can drop them as far as we like into a lava source and transport their items from there. So now that that's set up, the first thing I'm going to do is create the villager holding area. So if I can get them over here and have some beds ready, they should be able to get in there and sleep for the night so that they're prepared for the iron farm to get started. So then what we want to do is from this center block here is go up 5 blocks. Once we've come up these 5 blocks, we're going to extend out a 3x2 area with that central block being on this side. And then we're going to grab some glass and put 3 blocks there. From there, come up 2 blocks and create the same sort of shape you would if you were making a chess piece out of iron or something. Just like that, and have an open block right in front of this area here, on the side that you have the glass. We'll drop back down, actually put 2 more blocks like that, and box that in with those. Now you can remove those temporary blocks. From there, we're going to come out this direction, and using some trapdoors, we're just going to place them like this. Now, it doesn't have to be in any particular order because they're not going to close. Oops. They're not going to have to close or anything like that. They stay open. Then what we want to do is grab 3 beds and making sure that the head of the bed, the pillow of the bed, is facing those trapdoors. Place them down like so. Now, what we can do is bring those 3 villagers over, and as it becomes nighttime, we should be able to get them to pathfind up and sleep in those beds. Once they're asleep, we'll remove all temporary blocks from underneath, and they should permanently stay up there in that little section. Okay, so it looks like we should be able to get them situated over there just before the sun sets. And I'm going to set up just a very simple little path for them to not just wander off onto the platform over here. And they should go exactly where we want them to. Now, with a bit of luck, we should be able to pop them out of their boats, and they'll hopefully land on here and not sink. Ooh, I better be careful. Okay, with some safety platforms down, I'm going to quickly break their their boats. Okay, thankfully, they've finally gone into the bed. I had to remove the glass from the top of here so that they could actually walk on top of the beds, and then they decided to go to sleep. So now the only spot that they can get into is that one right there. I can block that off since I'm not going to drop them in through there. And while I was waiting for that to happen, I have built up this zombie container, I suppose you'd call it. And I should be able to, once I'm ready for it, and once I have the iron golem spawning area set up, do this. If you... okay, you came out of nowhere, but if you hold this, you'll do. Okay, well... we have a zombie. And, yeah, look at that. It obviously works. Hopefully, since his line of sight is broken, he shouldn't startle those guys, and it shouldn't spawn any more iron golems. But we'll see what we can do. I'm quickly going to kill this guy. Okay. Now with that, all that should be required to make this farm start up is to put a redstone torch right on the edge of that block, and that'll start the circuit that opens up this trapdoor here and causes the zombie to jump up and down. Now, I think that trapdoor being in the back of there shouldn't cause any problems, but we know that we can remove it if we have to. Now I'm going to quickly dig down and create a kill chamber right down low. I have some ladders that I can use to get back up, but I want the iron golems to drop far enough down that they're not going to cause these villagers to be thinking that there is another iron golem in their sight. So they're going to want to spawn a new one because the other one is too far away. Oh wow, that was lucky. I thought I could hear the lava, but I was surprised that it's directly below. Well, that's actually fitting that there's lava right where I want to put my kill chamber. I'm just very lucky that I didn't didn't fall into it myself and die. So I think this is as good a spot as any to set this up. Yep, we're around 30 blocks lower. So I'm going to cover this in and dig out this direction. Of course there's iron as we're building our iron farm. And now I'm just going to dig up here temporarily. Eventually we'll probably end up making some water streams and actually carrying the iron back to our main island. But for now, I'm just going to dig up here so that we have access and we can set up the kill chamber. And by the looks of it, our villagers are definitely spawning, I should say waking back up and only having those blocks there to stand on. Which is good. Once we set this up so that that trapdoor opens, they should get scared and start spawning iron golems. So what I'm going to do is quickly grab some signs and then pop back down there and place this lava bucket that I got from the nether. Even though there was lava down there that I could have grabbed anyway. But we'll place that lava there, set up the kill chamber, and then come back here, place our water, and we should be able to turn the farm on. That's better. Now we have our kill chamber. All I'm going to do is quickly put these chests here. Oops. And that'll be our temporary storage for our iron. Just to make sure that it's working before we set up our water column. I should say our water stream going back over to the island. So now that we have our kill chamber prepared, all that we have to do is set up the water streams that push the iron golems into that area in the middle. And then we should be ready to turn it on. We didn't even need that guy in there, so we can probably get rid of him. Or keep him for later. Now eventually I'm going to have to spawn proof these blocks on the outside edge. But for now, oops, we'll just create a barrier that can hold the water in. And if I'm correct, I believe that these blocks should be far enough away from the villagers to not be spawnable space anyway. But worst case scenario, we have to put some slabs on top of it until we build up a building around this, just to make sure that they're spawn proof. So now it should just be a case of grabbing some water and filling the whole thing in. It seems I've made a terrible mistake. Ah, I know what it is. Okay, so the solution's quite simple in that we just have to chuck our corner water blocks, sources I should say, up an extra block here. And do that for all corners. And then we have to make sure that our next water source we come 1, 2, and place on the third block off the corner. That way we avoid connecting the corners up with water sources and they shouldn't fill in the entire middle section. So if we be careful here, 1, 2, and then on the third, like so. Now if we do that along this edge, hopefully it shouldn't just fill it all in and they should stop right on that edge there. Just like that. So I'm going to continue this on and then we're going to have to go down and unfortunately dig out that since we flooded our lava. Luckily there was that lava pool right next to it, so we can just grab one from there and fill that in. And there we go. We have a perfect square of flowing water down into that centerpiece. So now I'm just going to quickly jump down, fix the killing chamber, and then we'll turn it on and see whether our iron golems spawn and go down. So we'll dig out this mistake. Cool. Collected all of it in there. And then I'll just pop out the side here and grab one of those pieces of lava. Easy. Pop that in there. And now we should be all blocked off and good to go. Now all it should take is putting this torch in there to start the clock cycle of opening this trapdoor so that the villagers can see it, and we should see straight away our first iron golem spawning. There it is. Look at that. Okay, let's see. I'll sit here for just a minute while we've got daylight and see how we go spawning more. There we go. There's number 2. My only concern is that they may be permanently being frightened, so I'm going to get rid of this trapdoor out the back. Now, fingers crossed, when that sun goes down, they should hopefully sleep for a very short amount of time and then be woken up each time that zombie villager opens the trapdoor, or the redstone does, I should say. Because the trapdoor is breaking line of sight, hopefully, that means that there is a very small window where they are relaxed and not inside of the zombie. They should be able to sleep, but that cycle should keep them frightened the whole night and day, and that way we have a constant supply of iron golems going in there. But it does appear that when that trapdoor is closed, the line of sight is being broken. I'm just a little concerned about that one who's sitting in the corner. He's not getting enough time to get across to his bed. Possibly not, but at the end of the day, it might just be a case of slightly extending this pulse and making that go for a little bit longer so that they have time to get across there. For now, we've had a few zombies go, a few iron golems go down into this chamber, and I'm going to drop down and see what kind of iron we've got in there. Okay, there we go. So, not that long really, maybe 10 minutes or a little bit less, and we already have 43 iron. And that should be working constantly. If we wait just a minute longer, there should be another one drop down here. There we go. As I said. And we'll just watch and see. Yeah, perfect. So our iron goes in there. Now that that's up and running, we'll make sure that we have it all troubleshooted and that that one villager is getting sleep. And then if he is, what we'll do is we'll probably end up setting up a water stream that goes all the way under the ocean here and over to our base and pops it up into an easy to access chest that we can have our iron in our storage system. But they seem to be coming in pretty decent pace. Like I said, it's not necessarily the most efficient by any means, but as far as the ability to regulate the spawning area and make sure that there is no spawnable blocks around, I should hopefully be able to build up a building around the outside edge, following this line here and outwards of that, and then they can only spawn inside this area here. And as long as the blocks that are above are also not spawnable, we shouldn't have any problems. But it does seem that that one zombie on the outside edge is unfortunately not getting across to his bed. So what I might do is quickly just... Ooh. Well, you can go down into the system, as can you. I'll see if I can disable this. Let them all go to sleep. Oh, actually, that didn't disable it. That left it turned on. So I will quickly... No! Oh. Well, damn. Mistakes were made. Goodbye, my friends. Oh. I am not a smart man. Damn it. I'll see if I can turn this off while the trapdoor is up. Nope, that doesn't work either. That is a shame. Oh no. How many mistakes can I make in this world? We have good luck with finding good stuff, but at the same time, I'm doing my best, it seems, to completely stuff it up. Damn it. Luckily, well, it doesn't seem to be working very well at the moment, but once we get that set up, at least we can get more villagers to put in the iron farm. Well, it took me a bit of time, and I honestly had to take a break because after what I did there and removed the previous 3 villagers, I just I had to stop. But we got 3 more in there, and honestly, I've broken the villager breeder. I'm gonna have to fix that, and I'll probably do that off camera in between episodes. But I have made it so that this iron farm is now fully functional. I added a little bit of extra delay onto this so that I could get them to sleep, but I realized that the main problem was that one of these guys is a nitwit, which means, there we go, which means that he goes to sleep a little bit later than the rest. So I can probably reduce it back down to the old timing, but it's not causing any problems, and we're getting an iron golem around every 30 seconds or so. Sometimes just a little bit more. So not too bad, and it has been running in the background for a little while, so I'll go check in a minute and see how much iron we've got. But first I want to remove this and then quickly have a sleep. Make it daytime, we can come back and check the iron stores. So with that, let's go have a look at our iron and see, I don't know, it might have been maybe an hour since I've had it up and running, like overall. And I'm not exactly sure what the rates are on this farm. It could be a couple of minutes either way of that, I'm not totally sure, but I did get about a stack of iron before, like the last time that I checked, and I just sorted it out so it should be stacking correctly in this chest. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not bad. If that continues in that way, just in the background all the time, this will fill up very quickly. Especially with how much time I spend on this island doing random little jobs and how much time I'm going to spend on this island creating different builds and such. I think our best bet will be to redirect this island back to our main storage room. But for now, I mean, it won't be long and we'll have enough iron to almost make a full beacon base, which is amazing. Cool. Well, at least the iron farm's working. Now I just have to completely rebuild that villager breeder. I tried to make one of my own design with like the basic knowledge I have of the mechanics behind it, but it just doesn't seem to work. So I think I'll just hop onto YouTube, get a tried and true design that I can just follow, and we'll make it work. Reset up this area so it does, and then we can create our trading hall. But with that, I think what we're going to do is end the episode here. I've got a lot of things that I want to try and achieve sort of in between episodes, like fixing that villager breeder and making sure everything's running well as far as that goes. And then I think we'll start next episode off with a quick time lapse just of me creating some of the pathways in between the islands and starting to design some of the decorative features of the island. I suppose that makes sense. But if you made it this far, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Leave a like if you did. Comment. Tell me anything that you'd like to see in this series if you've stumbled across this. And with that being said, I hope you take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.